All right, everybody, welcome to another wonderful player interview for the next woman up. Joining us today is Baylor superstar guard Taliah Scott. Taliah is putting together just an absolutely remarkable season, averaging over 20 points, three rebounds, and 3 assists per game for a top 20 Bears team that has spent the first couple weeks of conference play reminding folks that there is a reason the Big 12 championship has run through Waco for most I will say as a TCU alum of the last 2 decades. Among her many accolades, Taliah was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Florida, a 2023 McDonald's All-American, and a five-star prospect coming out of high school. Her journey took her through Arkansas to Auburn and now Baylor, where she's establishing herself as one of the best offensive players in an absolutely loaded Big 12. Taliah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I always wonder, like, 'cause I was not a five-star prospect coming out of high school. I always wonder what it's like when people are just like listing off accolade after accolade. Like at this point, you're like probably used to it, but it's got to be pretty special to take a minute and reflect on all of the things that you've accomplished throughout your journey, especially coming out of a place like Florida, which is known for producing elite athletes across all sports. When do you first remember kind of getting involved in the game of basketball and finding your passion for the sport?
Yeah, so at first, I had two different stunts with basketball. When I was younger, when I was like 5, I tried it out for the first time and it was not good. I didn't really want to play. Like I used to just be standing like on the side as like my dad would say, like I wasn't aggressive at all. I didn't want the ball. I didn't want to do anything with that. So I stopped for a couple years and I actually did gymnastics. And then like when I was about 9, I kind of returned back to my sport. At that time, my younger brother, who's 4 years younger than me, like he started getting into basketball because he was 5 at the time. And I was like, dang, I kind of miss, like, I kind of want to, try it again and stuff. And so that's kind of where it just took off. And then I was working with my dad, all that stuff. But yeah, that's really where the love of the game began when I was about 9 years old, my second return to basketball.
That the gymnastics makes a lot of sense with your balance and your creativity around the rim. That actually tracks. That's probably a good thing that you took that little pause and tried something different, right? That definitely impacts the way you play today.
Yes, I think it definitely does. And people say like trying like different sports and doing different things, like it only just benefits whatever you want to do, whatever sport you decide to do. And so I think it did help me out.
And Talia, if we can, I want to go back to high school a little bit. I saw that academics and community service were both very important to you as well. And you also boasted a very impressive 4.32 GPA, which congratulations, that
Thank
is
you.
As a high
fantastic.
school teacher, great job, taught
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
we
Thank
love seeing that. And so obviously there were a lot of different interests. You mentioned gymnastics. You were a fantastic student, loved being involved in community. But when did you start to realize that basketball was something you could do at the next level? Was whenever you picked it up for your second stint at 9 years old, or did that come a little bit later?
I think for me it kind of came a little bit later. I think it was kind of in middle school, like 7th, 8th grade. When I'm playing and I'm like, and my dad is saying like, you're absolutely like dominating out here. Like you are like one of the best players in the city as an 8th grader, right? And then I think when I picked up my first D1 offer in the 8th grade, I was like, wow, like I might I might be kind of good at this and stuff. And then my AAU program, like I was playing up a couple years. I played on the top team as a sophomore, like, and so I was like, wow, like I might actually be really good at this. And if I continue to take this serious, like, who knows where this will bring me? And my dad's telling me, like, wow, like you're really special. Like he used to tell me that every day after every game, all that stuff, whether it's a bad game, whether it's a good game. He was like, you're really special. Like, even if you're not scoring all these points, you're affecting the game in so many different ways that you could really take this as far as you want to go and you could be as good as you want to be.
Love
That's
that.
awesome. Having that support and that encouragement, it probably has such an impact on the confidence that you play with today, right? You know,
Yes.
we're recording this. We're kind of in the midst of the college football playoffs, and the transfer portal window of football is open, and everybody talks about the transfer portal, and there's a lot of negativity around it, but it can also be a real positive, especially for athletes that need to figure out where they belong and where they fit and where is the best place for their development. And that seems to be the case with you. Can you kind of talk us through your journey and how you ultimately decided that Baylor and playing for Nikki Collin was the place to best maximize your chance to develop and succeed to the highest level?
Yeah. So, just going back to my freshman year, I went to Arkansas, all that stuff. And I just felt like it wasn't a good fit for me. Whether on the court, whether off the court, it just wasn't enjoyable for me. My freshman year was the hardest
Mm.
year of my life. And so I just felt like it wasn't a good fit for me. I felt like me and coaches weren't on the same page necessarily. And so I felt like it was time for me to move on. And so I got in the transfer portal for the first time, talking to schools. I ended up at Auburn. I loved Auburn. I loved the coaches. I loved everything about it. I just ended up hurt and all that stuff. So I had to redshirt the past year. And then unfortunately, like my coach got fired after that year. And so I had to go find another place where I felt like I'd be comfortable, which led me to Baylor. Coming on my Baylor visit, meeting the coaches, meeting Nikki Khan, like she is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I think her love for the game and her knowledge for the game is on another level. And like I really respect and I love having to like pick her brain and understand, like especially on the offense and how she's able to exploit defenses, how she can put people in positions, and how she can literally exploit the worst person on defense by just running a couple actions and stuff, right? And so being able to be around that and kind of learn from her, and she's been at the pro level, she's coached everywhere, she's coached everything. And so, just being around that, and then also like everybody else on our coaching staff, like everybody knows exactly what they're doing. Like Tony Green, like is a defensive mastermind. Just being around him, his scouts, his defensive philosophy going into each and every game, it's different and it works every time. And so being able to pick their brain, I love that. And then it's just a great family environment, right? I love the team. I love my teammates. We're also supportive of each other through up and down. Like whether you're having a good game or a bad game, like they're right there saying like, I believe in you, I believe in you.
Mm.
And I just feel like it's a really positive environment. I really needed that. And I think it's only helped my game flourish. I thrive in positivity and she's created such a positive environment and such a fun, like place to play in.
You can see that positivity come to life on the court, whether that's Arkansas, Auburn, or here in Baylor. It's just you have this infectious joy about you, that Taliah, that is just fantastic to watch. You're one of my favorite players to watch just because you play the game in such a fun way, and you're also a walking bucket, which really, really helps. But you can see that rub off on your teammates as well. Like after the Duke win, when they all surrounded you in your post game radio hit that you were doing, your TV hit. Where does that kind of confidence, personality, infectious joy kind of come from?
Yeah, I think it's just simple, like from the love of the game, right? I love basketball. I put everything into it since I was 9. Like it's been my main focus. And I put a lot of time, I put a lot of effort. I have a lot of people supporting me. Like I have one of the best support systems I could ever have in my family, right? My mom, my dad, my brother, they were at every game. They were at every tournament with me. They put in so much time and money and effort to make sure I was able to have the things that I needed, and be able to get to the workouts, all that stuff. And that only breeds confidence, right? I know that I put in the work. I know I got people behind me, whether I play good, whether I play bad, they're going to support me no matter what. And so just having that, it keeps my confidence alive. And then being able to bring that confidence to the team and pour into other people, like even if they're not doing it, like being able to be like, look, I know you're one of the best players like in the conference too. Like I know what you can do. Like all you have to do is just go out there and do it. Like I believe in you that much. And I know that my teammates will hold it down and all that stuff. And so just being able to bring from my home that support system to here and help support people in whatever way they need, I think it runs through the team, and I think everybody has begun to do that. And it's just a really supportive environment here.
It's awesome. You've really become the heart and soul of this Baylor team in such a short time, and it's pretty obvious. And we saw when you went out in that game at Dickies Arena against Texas, just how it did deflate because they do rely so much on your energy and your joy in the way that you play. That was at that game. That injury looked bad, and just a few short weeks later, you're trying to fight back to get in the game against Texas Tech to open Big 12 play. You came in with I think like 2.5 minutes to go, and you were clearly still bothered by it. I think it was an ankle injury, right? But you
Mhm.
wanted to play and you wanted to be on the court and you wanted to help your team. What pushed you to want to kind of push through that discomfort and that pain to try to make an impact for your team in that game?
Yeah, I just think that my team, they were holding it down. I wanted to be able to help in any way that I can. I know that they need me and I need them, and I wanted to try to be there for them in that situation. I know things were hard. Everybody was, kind of just looking around for something, right? And I wanted to try to step up and be that person to try and help. and all that stuff. But I'm willing to push through all that for my team. They push through a lot for me, so I'm willing to push through a lot for them. And in that situation, it didn't necessarily work out, but I wanted to be there for them.
And Talia, we're recording this here the day after big win against Colorado. So, you're a few games into conference play now. What are your thoughts on the Big 12? Obviously, Melissa mentioned her TCU Horned Frog. She's a Big 12 person. I'm more of a Pac-12 person, RIP, pouring out one for that conference. But how quickly are you adopting to some of those interconference rivalries, such as the upcoming matchup with TCU?
Yeah, first off, I want to say the Big 12 is an extremely talented conference. It's a really, really good conference from the top down. We have some of the bottom teams beating the top teams, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be a fight every game. It's going to be a fight. There's going to be not a clear winner, right? You have to go and you have to perform every given game day. And I really appreciate that because in some conferences it's not like that, right? You'll have your blowouts, you have your 30-point wins every other night. The Big 12 is not like that, and it's a grind. It's a real deal grind. Like I remember Tony, one of our coaches, that told us like it's gonna be a one possession, two possession game every night. Like you have to out execute teams, you have to out effort teams, you have to do that because one missed possession that could be the game, right? And so the Big 12 is just so talented, it's so competitive. And then just know, like, especially like the rank matchups, and like it just gets me so hyped to be able to play like some of the top teams. Like we have some of the top teams in the country, and so being able to play them, like it just brings me so much joy. And it's like my competitive spirit. Like I'm always so excited for those games. And then even like they talk about it could be an upset every night. So just getting myself hype and getting the team hype to make sure that we don't become one of those upsets.
And since we're talking about the Big 12, I just kind of want to go back to the Iowa State game, if you will. It was just a fantastic game. Like you said,
Yeah.
every single game is going to be just a barn burner. And we saw it there. And the one thing that Melissa and I spoke on in our last episode was just talking about the job that you all did against Audie Crooks, where you just said, hey, Jada Williams, we respect your game. We're going to let you shoot. We're going to let it, like, we're going to force you to beat us by doubling Audie down there on the post every single time. And to her credit, she was willing to step up and she kept them in the game. But I want
Mm-hmm.
to talk about that final possession because whenever we saw that, everybody in the world, me, Melissa, you, the scorer, it didn't matter. Everybody knew Taliah Scott is going to take this shot. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, like, knowing that Iowa State plays Audie in drop coverage, what was the call coming out of the timeout there? Was it, hey, we know Audie is going to go in that drop coverage. We want to have the ball screen, force Jada to fight over. She can't pull up because we know Audie isn't going to be able to recover quick enough. Or is it kind of kicking it out to Bella on the wing and just trusting you to make the read?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a little bit of both. I think we knew that we could exploit her in ball screens. We knew that she wasn't going to step up. She's going to play in deep drop coverage, and she's done that the whole year. So we knew that wasn't going to change even on the last possession, right? And so just coming off of that, it was just reading it. Whether if she did step up in the rare case she would have stepped up, then either go around or would have been a read to kick out, right? But I think Nikki just trusted me to take that shot because everybody knew that she wasn't going to step up. So I think she really trusted me to take that shot. And credit to Kaja, she set a great screen that Jada wasn't able to get over. That got me open. But I really think that the goal was to exploit her in that situation because she plays a deep drop coverage. And so just walking into that shot, basically.
Talia, you're obviously a high IQ and a cerebral player. I think we've seen that just talking to you. And you mentioned that you had your injury that you suffered just early on your season at Auburn. You've had these things where you've had to battle through a couple of injuries. You've played in a couple of different systems now. What do you think is the biggest area of growth that you've seen in your game in your first, three-ish years of collegiate play?
Yeah, I think most importantly, I think my efficiency has gone up tremendously. Especially from freshman year, I wasn't that efficient, right? And that's what a lot of people talked about when they talked about my game is that yeah, she can score, but she's not that efficient. And so I think this year, like I've become way more efficient. My percentages are a whole lot better than they have been in the past. And I credit that to Nikki. So like Nikki runs a great offensive system. The ball flows. You get easy shots. You're gonna get wide open shots. Like you're not just gonna go one on one the whole time. We're gonna work to get good stuff. And so I credit that to her, and then just being able to step up and make those shots. But I really think efficiency has been the biggest thing. And then like I feel like my numbers have just grown since
Mhm.
freshman year, like in every category, it's grown. And so I just think like this has been the place where I've thrived the most.
And on that note, Talia, you still have 2 seasons of eligibility after this year. But as you look ahead, I want to know what your professional goals are. Obviously, there's a WNBA team called the Atlanta Dream, but I want to know what Talia's dream is. Is it playing in the WNBA?
Yes, I want to be a like I want to play in the league. I want to get drafted. I want to have a good solid career in the league. And eventually like I want to be a Hall of Famer. Like I
Mm.
I want to be one of the best players to ever play the game. And so I want to have a great I really want to get drafted. And I really want to play in the league. And then after that I want to go into broadcasting, sports analysis, all that stuff. And so yeah, but I do want to get drafted. And hopefully in 2 years I can see that happen.
Hey, Talia, anytime you want to get some reps with us on the podcast, but you got a platform here anytime that you want it. You've got a
Perfect.
great personality for broadcast for sure.
Thank
Is there a
you.
player in the pro ranks that you kind of model your game after, or somebody that you really admire and try to take from?
Yeah, I feel like so I'll do one for the men's side and I'll do one for the women's side. On the men's side, Damian Lillard, I feel like I model my
Mm,
game after him. Just his ability to create for himself, like threes, all that stuff, the side steps, like I literally stole that from him. Like I literally took that from his game and put that in mine. But his offensive abilities, like he's so talented, all that stuff. He gets to his spots, whether it's threes, whether it's mid range, whether it's to the basket. And so I really model my game after him. And then also, I would say an Enrique like player on the
yeah.
women's side. Just again, like her offensive talent, like I feel like mine really matches hers, and we kind of score in the same ways. We get to the basket, we can shoot it, we can score at all three levels. And so those are probably the two players that I model and I compare myself to.
Yeah, I cover the wings as well, and Enrique. Like I see a lot of Enrique in your game for sure. That's a great comp, a great person to model yourself after too, right?
Yes, thank you.
100%. And from Dame time, I can see it being like tea time with a little like tea celebration or
Like
something like that.
a little,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
exactly.
drink it.
I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see that
Right,
come out
Yes,
Big 12 play. Now I can see you though,
yes.
but anybody
After
else?
after you hit the game-winning bucket against TCU, you can go ahead and pull that off
Oh,
there, Talia. Yes.
like we talked about this. We talked
right
about
at me. I'll be right on the baseline
this.
with my camera. I got you.
And
hmm
before we get to the quick hitters, I do want to shout something out for you real quick. I always appreciate whenever athletes are able to kind of use their platform to talk about more than just basketball when it comes to societal issues. I see on Instagram, right in your bio, you have Free Gaza, and you also put in your story like, "Hey, Ramadan's coming up here in like 46 days. Hopefully, we're able to get there." How important
Yes.
is it to you just to kind of use your platform in that way and to kind of have that autonomy to do so?
Yeah, I think I'm more than a basketball player, right? And I don't want people to forget that. I think people get so wrapped up on what you can do on the court and forget that you're a human too, with opinions, with the
Mhm.
religion that you follow and all that stuff. And so being able to have the confidence and the knowing myself to be able to put stuff out there that, I agree with and that I support, like, because I know a lot of people don't do that, right? They're scared of the backlash, they're scared of all that stuff. But me, I honestly I don't care, right? Because it's who I am.
Mm.
And so being able to post that stuff and people knowing where I stand on certain issues, and be able to have the freedom to talk about it, whether it's social issues, whether it's political issues, whether it's my religion, and standing firm in that, it just shows that yeah, I can hoop, yeah, I can do all that stuff, but I'm more than that, and I'm a person too, and I have things that I believe in, and that I'll stand firm in no matter what.
Michael and
Love
I
that.
were talking. Yeah, Michael and I were talking before we started recording about how I think women's basketball players have, and really women female athletes in general have been the best at that and the most willing. But it's interesting now when you look at the NIL landscape and the brand deals, like it takes real guts and real heart to stand true in what you believe and what's important to you because people are watching for better or for worse these days.
Yeah.
And we did. I think we both would say we admire that so much to be such a young person that is so willing to use her platform for so much good. I think that's really admirable, and we appreciate you using your voice. And obviously, I think with who you are and the way that you play, there's going to be a lot more people knowing your name here in the coming months. And so it's awesome to see you to living up to that both on and off the court. All right, we're going to take it from
You.
the serious to having a
Okay.
little bit of fun.
All
We're
right.
going to finish with some quick hitters here down the end. Taliah, do you have a pregame ritual or superstition that you follow?
Well, if I play good, then I have to wear the same shoes that I play good in.
Mhm.
Like I have to keep wearing them until I play bad in them, and then I'll switch them out. I have to do that. I have to.
What are the kicks that you're rocking this year?
I have the white GT cuts, the white GT cut threes, and I've worn those like for the past like 7 games.
Yeah, you've been on a tear, so that makes sense.
Yes.
All right, so you're coming down the court and there's a defender in front of you. Would you rather have a ankle breaker that has the whole crowd just go ooh, or a no look pass for the assist?
I'll have to say ankle breaker. I gotta go with the ankle breaker. I got to. I love that type of stuff. I love getting those types of reactions on it. So yeah, definitely ankle breaker.
Your
Love
score
that.
first guard. That makes sense. That's good. What's your
Yes.
go-to pump up song in the locker room right now?
Go-to song. I'll probably say, I'll probably say "Leave You Alone" by Jeezy. That's been on my playlist. Yeah, heavy. Neo and Jeezy.
Awesome.
That we just saw at the Ohio State game, Jelani Cambridge dropped about 40 points with Asia Wilson sitting
Yeah.
courtside. So I need to know, Talia, who's your dream courtside celebrity guest?
Dream courtside celebrity guest. I have to say SGA. I
Mm,
have to say SGA. That's my like that's one of my favorite players. That's literally my celebrity crush. Like he has to be courtside. He has to be courtside.
we got to make
Love
that
that.
happen for you. We got to make that happen.
Yes, yes.
Uh, Favorite Baylor team tradition or campus food spot?
Hmm. Let's see. Favorite team tradition. Uh, I wouldn't say this is really a tradition, but like when we having our team bonding stuff, like when we set it up ourselves, we be going like bowling and like
Mm,
stuff like that, like that's fun. Like we'll do like we did candle making. Any team bonding stuff is always so fun with us.
that's awesome.
Talia, we talked about tea time earlier, but I went back to Arkansas and I saw you had the ice in the veins versus this year you have a long range celly. So I need to know which is your favorite of those celebrations?
I have to say this one because it's just so actually this started at Auburn. So one of the he worked with the men's staff and so basically like they had like a call God. So this is basically call God. So every time they made a three, it'd be like call God is straight to him, it's all praise to him, all that stuff. And so that's kind of that's been my go-to now. Like I love that celebration. Like I actually have a hoodie with the trademark because he started like a whole like brand thing off of it. So that's got to be my favorite.
Awesome. What are you refueling with after practice? What's your favorite kind of off court snack?
Off court snack. First of all, everybody knows this. I love Cheez-Its. I eat Cheez-Its 24/7. Like if all the Cheez-Its are gone, it's because of me. So I love Cheez-Its.
Do you have a go-to flavor? Are you a double toasted? What's the
Oh
what's
no,
the
no, no.
vibes?
Just normal. Just regular.
Classics?
Just yeah. Classic. Classic.
You mentioned earlier that you were in gymnastics whenever you were younger. Saw the interview with Ari Chambers where you broke that down too, that you were on the bars and the beams. So I need to know, Talia, if you went out tomorrow and you had to go out and compete on the bars or the beams, which would you place higher at?
I would probably place. Ooh, it's got to be bars. Beam was hard. Beam is the hardest like event in my opinion, cause like I don't know how like I used to be okay at it, but the way they be flipping and all that stuff and I could not do all that right. Absolutely not. Like it would definitely be bars.
I, I very much have a stay right side up mantra in my life these days. I'm not going upside down for nothing. So I respect that.
Like
Not happening anymore. I may never recover. We
I
talked about you
understand.
being the Gatorade Player of the Year in Florida, coming out of high school. What's your go-to Gatorade flavor?
Go to Gatorade flavor. See, I feel like this is such an unpopular opinion, but a cold grape Gatorade is the best
Mm,
Gatorade.
okay,
Cold grape Gatorade.
that is a wild take there, but we're
But
gonna
it
let you
has to
have
be
it.
cold though. It
Okay,
has to be
ice
cold. Like if
cold.
it's room temperature, it's nasty. But like cold,
Okay,
refrigerated straight out the fridge, amazing.
okay. Maybe I'll give that a shot sometime. I do love purple, so
Like
maybe that's the move.
yes, it is. It is.
All right, Talia, what is one word that you would use to describe your playing style?
I would say versatile. just because I can score in a variety, I can do so much on the offensive side of the ball. Like I can pass it, I can create. For me, I can create for my teammates. I can score at all three levels. I can just do anything. Anything you would want out of a player, I feel like I can do that.
You talked a lot about your team and the team bonding and how close you guys are. Who's your funniest teammate or your favorite teammate to hang out with and mess around with after practice?
It's probably got to be Yu Ting, and probably because like I've known her for like because we was at Auburn together, but it's got to be Yu Ting. Like she is so funny. Like she's my roommate for every away
Okay.
trip. We sit on a bus together. We sit on the plane together. Like she's so funny. Like I love her so much. We're really tight.
That's awesome.
Love that. And Talia, we're going to get you out of here with this one. We're going to give you a chance to shout out somebody. You talked about your dad earlier, kind of growing up, how vital he was in your basketball journey. But who's been the biggest supporter, would you say, in your basketball journey? If you want to give him a shout out, now's the time.
Yeah, I would feel like I'd also have to say my mom, like she does all the behind the scenes work. Like she was the one figuring out the finances to be able to do all this stuff. She
Mm.
was the one organizing all the trips, the booking the plane flights, booking the hotels, all that stuff. Like without her, there's no way I'm where I'm at today. Like she did all the behind the scenes work. Yeah, she wasn't like the basketball mom. My dad was the basketball mom, but she did so much to support and to learn to try to do anything to help me. And I love her so much for that.
That's awesome. Well, Talia, you have been an absolute joy to talk to. It's obvious why where your personality and your joy for basketball comes from, but you're just as much of a joy off the court too. Baylor has gotten off to a really hot start. When you're healthy, that team is really, really good, and it's really disappointing for me as a TCU fan to see. But I know Michael and I will both be rooting for you the rest of the way, and excited to see what you can do this season. Keep balling out, keep dropping big games, and reminding people what a great athlete that you are, both on and off the court.
Thank you so much. And thank y'all for having me. This was an amazing interview.